Today on Lifestyles of the Weird and Broken, the next most pressing task is to make coffee. As I admire my city views of this wonderful rural city, temperature has dropped today a lot, and it's windy still. So my poor body is like, I don't know what to do. I just sit here. So that's all well and good, but also need coffee to make body better. I am, I can't even. I suppose this is why YouTube people plan things. I'm gonna pass on the free included continental breakfast. There's a rodent bait station just over there. I presume that's the free included continental breakfast. I'm going to make my egg because that's my routine. I don't need that breakfast. I can't keep up with which character. Oh, that's right. Face falling off a bit. We'll deal with that. So I'm currently running, look at me, I'm totally in Arizona. A slight bit of hobo narrative. I got a bit of road dog narrative. And a whole heap of, I'm parked in a car park. Okay, now I'm gonna do calisthenics. Okay, so go through there, over the back of there, get that on the way through, take that with, hang on. Oh, bring this. Okay, alright. Oh. And then go far enough back there, and then there's fixings to make the water go hot. And then I'll find the rest of it. Because I don't have another $7 to buy another coffee like yesterday. Let's go. All those years we played Twister as a kid. Do you remember that, everyone? Never knew what all that training was for. Now I know. Left foot. Oh, yeah. Pull this one. I sit. Poof. Tardis transmute. Alright, now put that one accurately not measured. Okay, come on, everybody. Let's go. I'm gonna go to the kitchen now. Okay, now we're in the kitchen. We're also in the bedroom. Alright, give me a minute to catch up with myself. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Also, we gotta get active quickly because I don't fit in the back of the wagon. I don't want the people to see me. Oh, I've got the darkest fucking tint that exists. Even if they can see me, they can't see me. Yes, I'm just saying, look, I can't actually sit up. Anyway, I'm just part complaining and part, hang on. Part complaining, part acknowledging that, like, I've not been in this environment in quite a long time, let alone this. And I'm just goblining in the back. Alright, so I've got my little dude. It's got a bit of water and yeah, just feel like a Bain Marie sort of effect. What? That one? is for water, for coffee. I've only just designed and kind of built this. It's gonna take longer to boil there or heat because I've filled it. I'm just saying, I've only just look. I put the pet shop and the antique store there yesterday, so that opened up the space. And also I was driving and traveling, so I had that fun sudden extra element of I have to actually pack shit down. So anyways, here is the current. Why are we going in here? Food. Here's the come in here. Oh my god, let's go in here. Come on. Now we'll find. Oh, it's still cold water. The ice is all melted. That's what I bought it for. Oh, let's get some eggs who are floating. Oh, no, come out. And here's butter. So anyways, I'm going to put some eggs, some butter. I'm going to dump it in that one. Close that lid and close it down. And I think this might have been a fun little purchase, especially because it was on sale, nearly half price. And yes, it has the dumbass plug, but I also do have an adapter in the props department, which is not here. They're very cheap adapters for everything nowadays. So that plug goes into 12 volt plugs nowadays are all just like weird little plugs. So you get an adapter that just goes from you shove that in one end, and then you can shove it into any of your little power stations. It's got a 12 volt doodad. Alright, I'm gonna put these eggs on. Successfully in, I'll say cooking, heating. I put the milk in early because I needed the bag. Man, fuck. Close the fridge. Am I finished in the fridge? I bought the one chocolate bar like a week or more ago. I collected a pair somewhere. An NPC was like, "Hello, would you like to have a pair from this bar?" Click. Add to inventory. Thank you very much. Dialogue skill experience point goes up. But yeah, I bought the 2 bags of ice purely for the water reason. I'm running look, I got my, that's the thing. So in the car, as you can see, I've at least got anything to strap stuff to. I've got a couple of wherever they are, and even random shit, Whereas the caravan, little 12-foot caravan that I've got, which is more of a shell, I'm gonna just call it like a trailer, because the windows don't open properly, so it's not inhabitable. And also the windows are made of that original 1978 smashes into microscopic shards of infinity material. So that's why the beta testing of the 12-foot caravan back at the props department had to get scaled back. I felt it more pertinent to put myself inside tempered glass windows. And that's all I suppose I need to say about that at that moment. So yeah, at least you got tie down points. I got enough to have some kind of whatever this is. I collect too many things because it's cool. But yeah, that ties in. Bed goes straight along the long way here. I got this funky thing, fluffy blankets. that's handy because it's got all the power banks and stuff in now. Because I hadn't realized that you have to have everything. You can't just build everything and put it everywhere adorable. There's no point stringing up fairy lights and shit if the external temperature is going to go so hot that you actually have to evacuate every piece of lithium-ion battery from inside the vehicle. Otherwise, you're in a proper science problem. So that's cool that, I can put, like this. When I go, where do I put it away? Do I put it there? No, it's got a battery in it, put it in there. So then if you do have to go, oh shit, so that's useful. And today, it's like noontime, and today, chill out in here, do my little morning routine, and then also charge up everything. Maybe try and redesign that's my lounge room, man. As you can see, there's not much of a seat in my lounge room at the moment. I tried yesterday doing sitting in the driver's seat. No. People with physical mobility and everything, I'm very happy for the fact that they can sit with their spines and turn and bend and pick things up and, move them around. I can't do that. I don't have that. Right now, we're in a decaying orbit of physical capacity, basically. You get what you get when you wake up, you negotiate what you can, and then it's okay, how I describe it, Back to the Future, yes, it's one of the sequels, but hey, that Western one was good. The doc with the train, and he's got, those different coloured little fuel cells that he's got to put in the engine at the particular boost time. And so, I wake up, I do the calm down bit, and then I use that energy to get to this bit. And now I just wait until this bit's done. And then I'll eat the food and everything. That will give me the mental and spiritual fortitude to do the rest of my little morning routine and take the vitamins and whatever the hell else. That's why I bought this. I didn't even know that fancy stuff is really cheap, because the newer models or whatever must have come out. I'm just saying that when I bought this at Christmas time, it literally was saying $500 crossed out, now $150. And some of the places were still trying to sell it for the $500 or $300 or something. This is all online. But yeah, but a couple of places were like, no, it's $150. And so I was like, why is it so cheap? This is a 6, and apparently the 8 has been released. I don't know. This is literally the first time I've ever got one of these. And that's why I made sure that I got absurd level hugeness. Look, I have a cinema screen on my wrist. If I was... 1, 2, 3, 4. If I was trying to be a serious person in society, there's no way you would wear it. You know what I mean? It'd be too huge. It's absurdly and comically huge. You wouldn't be able to wear it. It's kind of dumb. Also, the green alien light from the heart rate monitor thing, sometimes it comes out the side because... So yeah, I picked that one because I get to look at pretty moons, but also, you see there, it's got my heart rate. So if I'm feeling weird, I can look at that, and if it says 110, and I'm like, okay, yeah, science indicates. And I've got that LA time on there because I use too much brain power trying to work out what the heck time it is where a heap of my friends live. And I have the number temperature in Celsius. That's Celsius, don't worry. Yeah, like, you know, I got it as pretty much a medical device, you know, and it seems to be kind of useful so far, except as you can see, it keeps switching itself off. And also I have to charge it, which is what I'm gonna have to do today. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here doing all this talking, and I neglected to close the oven, so, you know, we've just been, oh, that click is really obnoxious. I don't think I need that click bit. That's for, like, people that want to drive down the highway in an excavator while they're warming up their meat pies. Oh, that click just really effectively just deleted any thought I had in my brain. Alright, well, I can see this water tap here. I suppose I'll put water in something. And I can see this, so I suppose I'll find the rest of my coffee plunger. Oh, I'm about to get busted by the hospital staff. Pray for me. Let's listen. Running their entire own narrative. They've just been running the out loud verbal, where's the car? Does anyone know the car? Because when they run, they go, oh, we have found the car. Everybody's just trying to get through their fucking day, hey? Alright, what am I doing? I need to find the coffee. I need to find the top half and the bottom half of the coffee thing. And then the insides for the coffee thing. And then soon I will be able to finish this, and I'll be able to sit back where I'm not seated in what the United Nations terms stress position, and is banned under their how to, you know, like, not accidentally torture people rules. Anyways. What's happening? No, I keep freaking out that, like, other cars, you know, gonna back into me or something. They're actually really cool because they're all modern. They all got so much shit beeping at them on the inside. They've all got reversing cameras and auto everything. Like, we don't have any Tesla self-driving shit here yet, but I'm just saying that pretty much, you know, like, you can hear the 2 or 3 of us type of cars where we are just manually raw dogging the whole fucking thing. I assure you I will not be at all attempting to remove this vehicle from this car park at any point in time before the hours of, like, 11 p.m. at night, when the ratio of empty space to highly expensive other people's assets drastically flips in my favour. Oh, I better make the coffee or I'm gonna look. See, 19 minutes. This, if you wonder why, it seems like hobos either tend to not get a lot done or they seem to be moving very slowly, is because yes, and all of the above. Whatever you're thinking, that's probably what it is. But also, if you're thinking, oh, that person's, like, high on drugs, but also judging them for moving slowly, then I'd just go and learn what drugs are, okay? Go and learn what drugs are. Because you can't accuse people of being on meth and then also tell them to, like, move faster. You don't, that doesn't work. Anyways, I'm gonna make coffee. I'm gonna stick within the Overton window of socially acceptable zooted. I will wear their own judgments as a skin. I'll hold my coffee while I sit here and go, oh, it's a terrible thing about those poor old druggos, eh? Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, from my own personal observations, seems that meth makes people much more able to handle cold weather. So that's a terrifying use of a substance that may be pertinent in the world. I'm getting way too existential. I need the coffee and the eggs. Okay, now I got that bit. Alright, I got the bottom half, I got the top half, I got the insides, I got that bit. Nope, don't need the chocolate. I'm just moving it because you never know. If there's a bag, everything might go in. Right, focus, see? I'm in a decaying orbit of physical capacity. I can't sit cross-legged like this for much longer. My neck's all squid. Look, I bet. I need to get this shit done and then get less talking, more fucking action. Alright. Open up my... Okay, now which bit of this is gonna burn me? This is only the third time I've used this, so at this point, I'm still probably just getting free ingestion of all the manufacturing chemicals and stuff that came with it. Yes, this is not my ideal, most perfecto way of having my eggs. Oh no, it will work. It will stir. Just saying, obviously the bottom is more cooked than the top. Routine is routine, protein is protein, hopium is hopium. Okay, eggs. Also, I explained in a different video that when you crack eggs, you do it in the house, it's just normal, it's like whatever. But when you have the weird Buddhist level opportunity to study and everything, eggs, like, you got the yolk, and then you got like the main blob of the white kind of seems to stay around it. So you kind of got to like free that as well, and then it can all... Otherwise it'll kind of just cook around the outside and take a really long time. See, look. See, like, all of that's just not even cooked. It'll take a really long time for that last bit. I mean, they don't have to be that hot. Slightly hotter than finger temperature. It meets requirement. Alright, now the fun bit. Let's put the first bit of this in, because I need to do a couple goes of this. Oh, here we go. Please be on my side, physics. Here we go. As you can see, it's like not even. Come on, by regulation. Alright, there you go, there's the first bit in. Now for my next trick. Oh god. I'm going to go behind here, pour this in. Nope. Gonna go over this way, pour that. Oh no. In that cup. I find that if I say it out loud, I speak it into existence by putting the possibility of the thing into the reality stream. Pour the cup and the water's totally going to go in there. Sweet. Job done. It's only half full, but at this point I don't give a shit. This is what we're here for right now, this minute. And I am liking this little two-part system because it allows me to be making coffee and then I can just harvest the tiny bit out into my cup and go. Alright, I think soon just like what are we all meant to do? Start YouTube channels of like when normal people go on extreme camping trips, because that's essentially what this is. It's just like, here's the parameters, go. If you handed that sheet to 98% of other people, they'd just be like, what are you talking about? This isn't a video game. Well, apparently it fucking is, okay? And in this video game, in this run through, on this particular dimension, there's no fire in this dimension. There's no, lots of things. I'm just saying, what I do have is electricity. No wind. I got this. I mean, I'm fairly certain that they don't mean the $10 per day cost. I mean, I didn't find anywhere on that website that stated what the maximum term stay of a car in a car park. And the per day cost, this is where Autistic Goblin, but if it says $10 per day, and I'm like, that doesn't mean that they're willing to count in weeks. They're saying it's capped at $10 maximum per day. So if I have to explain to myself, no, that does not mean for $300 you can just live here for a month. What that means is go from the other end. Go from the $2.50 per hour charge or whatever it is for visitors, Go from the other end. They're saying, we're going to charge you $5. We're going to charge you $7. But for one day, we will not charge you more than $10. So that's how that is working. Also kind of explains to me, why these car parks are full. Because if you actually look, this little city here does not actually have like high-rise car parks. And I'd lived here for a couple of years, many lifetimes ago, and it's quite a dense little city. Because, if you, when you are looking at infrastructure on society level scale, you just kind of look and you're like, oh wow, there's 5 solid concrete structures in this whole place. Okay. Well, I suppose I'll go pick one and go inside that. Because, like, hey, look. I mean, if the zombies are coming today, then all they can do is climb up the outside, and then I'm just gonna laugh at them. So, like, today's a really good day for me for the zombie apocalypse to happen. Universe, just if you were trying to pick a date. I'm gonna drink this coffee, and also we acknowledge that, yes, this was a really tight 30 minutes on boiling water, making coffee, and frying 2 eggs. Welcome to this absurd dimension. You get to choose how deep you throw yourself in, but just don't not do it, because The future's coming, whether you want to be part of it or not. Up your skills, yeah? 3%. I've successfully... That's hot. Just saying. I successfully, cool. Unplugged it. Because this thing's got no controls on it. Okay. Look at that little half-second bit of water in there. Eggs. An intelligent person would leave that shut and use the... But I need to evacuate this seated position. So I'm gonna... Never trust an Australian person when they're talking to you regarding how long of a time number something's going to be. Just so you know. Remember how I neatly fucking ended the video about, minute and a half, 2 minutes ago? And here I am still banging on about eggs. There you go. Put that there, put that there. That actually was not hot, but also, here's a thing. This is my own personal disclaimer, but also, I suppose people say it's smart to do these things on the internet and in life. This is a for real thing that I tell people. If you see me doing something, do not think that you can just go and copy me, because A, most of the time, you probably have no idea what I'm actually doing because I've not out loud said it. And B, yeah, you don't actually, you know what I'm saying? That bowl is actually cold. But also, I spent 20 years working in hospitality, so I know how to assess the temperature of a bowl. Even if it was hot, I could still pick it up because I spent 20 years practicing how to pick up weird, dumb little hot shit without constantly burning myself. You know, like, I can balance physics on the head of a pin. So that's all I'm saying is, not just for me though, but for all of this stuff that you see, you know, people are like, oh, I'm just going to put this here, I'm just going to, I'll put that one there, and then I'm going to drive and all the rest of it. Like, don't just copy stuff. You have to figure it out for if it's going to work for you, or here, even little basic example. I've got all that strapped in. I've got that strapped in. Why do I know that I actually have to strap stuff in? Because a few months ago I had my big water cubes just sitting, and I just filled them all up, and just driving out of the water place, just turning around, one of them just tipped over, cracked straight into this steel thing here, fucking smash. And so I'm grateful that it was only at the top, and I just pulled over, sat it upright, and went, oh shit, and then drove home slopping water everywhere. But, that could well have just exploded 25 litres of water, almost twice that container size. The big cubes hold almost twice that. In one instant, I could have just, flooded gallons and gallons and gallons of water all through my car. Why? Because I didn't know yet that when they say tie stuff down, you actually have to tie stuff down. The other example being that I've got this sitting. I'm just saying it was unsecured, and at this height level, and I had to prop the brakes on a small amount once yesterday, and so naturally this slid forward. But I'm just saying that I see so many terrifying things. A lot of Americans, they're all just driving around. They've got benches and stuff, like way up high in their van builds and their car builds. They've got loose items just sitting on benches across here. And then they're just driving down the road. Like, if you've got something sitting here unsecured, and if you're driving and you jump on the brakes, that is now a missile coming straight at the back of your head. Same with unsecured animals, you know. Dogs can have seatbelts. Dogs can have like a proper little harness and a seatbelt on. But a cat, the only safe way to travel with a cat is to have it in a carrier. And also what I'm learning is I have to have it sideways. I can't have her facing forwards and back. I've always had them sideways. So then if you do stop on the brakes, you know, they just roll back and forwards. But an unsecured cat or dog in a vehicle whilst it's travelling is a missile. And for me, that just combines the worst of cosmic absurdity and just dystopian, tragic, poetic heartbreak. You know, somehow, like, you're the thing that you love the most, but you didn't love it properly, and so that because you loved it, it was the reason that now that entire character run is finished. And so, you know, I'm just so many ridiculous bullshit, you know, pretty much. Try to not, so that's my goal today, charge everything up, but also, you know, when this bit seems quite functional thus far, you know, got the bed, all this, that's kind of just storage at the moment, because I got extra props that I wasn't sure if they'd fit. Also, they're good props. But yeah, so at the moment, I mean, when I'm driving, I just put that down there. I'm just saying, it would be nice to be able to build the power system accessible, but not have this up somewhere and run the risk of braining myself with my own gadgets, because that would be a level of absurd hilarity that I'm not willing to be that level. I'm going to let some other poor fool go first on that one. Eggs. Is it coffee? Oh my god, I thought of it went invisible. Coffee. Where's the fucking salt? Here's part of the kitchen. That's the other problem. I've gone from having 6 kitchens, and now I've got 1 kitchen in many parts. I mean, are you, like, how long is it going to take to do these things? Operation Rogue and Massive is not going as anticipated. Of course it's in the bottom. Of course it's in the bottom. Here's another little salt. I'm going to put salt from this brand name expensive container, and I'm going to put it into this little dog bowl that I cooked my eggs in. I'm going to eat it with the spoon I bought at the thrift store the other day. I bought that myself, retail. I paid over $50 for that piece of metal. 3 years ago now. And I got that bottom half from the free garage sale. You find the bottom half of a coffee plunger, and then you have a look for the top half, and then you go, oh, I think that's why it's in the free garage sale. And I'm wearing all this, like, big flowing lady clothes, because pants and shorts should not be around. So I don't know. Maybe now that it's windy and a bit colder today, perhaps the video game dimension will just spawn different costumes to wear. Because the big flowy skirts, that was obviously for the Art Hotel expansion pack. Now I'm in some other weird expansion pack. This one's all like concrete and metal and doctors and shirts. I have shirts. I don't have lanyard, but I have enough other props. I'm running a cool. I've got no shoes. I've just got like plastic slide-on things. But also, okay, now that part of my mind is reminding me that I do actually have some Babylonian business to attend to. As in, like, I'm gonna send one text message to a lawyer. So I suppose that is kind of worth, getting all Babylonianed up for. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eat eggs and make more coffee. And then I'm going to make another impossibly long video on how I'm gonna salvage punk all my power together. Basically just running all the power around itself, just eating power wastage loss at every opportunity. I think what I need to do with this one, I think I'm going to need to go AC out to DC in. And because I'm coming AC out, I think that's the maximum pissing away my battery energy option that I could choose. Well, because I've not yet. That's the solar panel one. You know what I mean? Solar panel plugs in there. That's meant to be the import of the whole fucking system. That's the base station import that feeds in everything else. But because I currently have no solar panel, so for the first time, I get to figure out how to feed stuff back out from my smaller ones. I need to feed it back into the bigger ones using only the plugs that I have and only the fact that this import is actually pretty much a very limited input. Anyways, so, because why not? At some point also I have this book that the Cosmos gave me, and I thought that was interesting. Rethink a paraprimitive solution. Seriously, like, the universe is just trolling me constantly. Author of The Biological Time Bomb and The Doomsday Book. I put this in a short, I'm just saying, the universe. I was like, I do not need to physically keep hold of this book. I'm taking it back to the little bakery. And then, of course, the Cosmos was like, no, you're leaving on Sunday and the bakery's shut on Sunday, so the book is yours and you have to keep it, and now you have to read it. Or at least, experience it. So at some point I've got this weird side quest that just hurled itself into my lap. So that's a bit scary what's going to be in this book. But I think this may be just yet another attempt, or yet another thread of the Cosmos attempting to jailbreak my mind. Must be pretty serious shit on its way, because the training level is high. Anyways, I gotta read this book at some point, I suppose. That's probably where all the answers to how to actually do our revolutions are. Hey. At least I own and know where they are, so, that's half the battle, innit? There we go. Can I just say that in terms of for a dentist, I know that I do work really hard with the meditating and the breathing and the calming and all the rest of it. I'm just saying that I had a tooth pulled yesterday, and okay, yeah, fine, it was the least traumatic experience I've ever had. It was actually quite fine. But yeah, if you are into that type of sort of herbal realm, might I suggest that did actually seem to take a bit of that existential terror away from, because you can intellectually, we know it's fine. Dentistry is brutal and, draconian fucking old days stuff. And we know that that's fine, that's what, but you can't logic your way through outright physics. This did help me to logic my way through outright physics, and I was slightly more okay with, I don't know. I think I just watched too much of that Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman over again, because it was always on the TV at 4 o'clock in the morning, back when I used to be a king of the recliner couch, giant LCD screen, stoner, look at me in my awesome, affordably priced rental properties. But there's other weird stuff like that. Like, I've built so many gardens in my life. I'm qualified. I'm qualified fucking garden design. I'm qualified for too many things. Where's my hat? I need my feathers. Where's my medals? Come on. Oh no, I just got it. I need the pecs to fucking pin them on. I refer you back to Operation Rogue Massive. Where's that? There it is. You got the vitamins. Operation Rogue Massive. That actually requires eating a shit ton of protein. I'm just saying. That was basically my goal, though. I needed to stop going down in weight number, because at some point you don't have enough fat on you. So even if you gotta just eat like a little baby calf, and this is why I do the eggs and the butter and the milk powder. And it's even I've got these wraps over here. There's 2 different kinds. One of them, 17 grams of protein per wrap. The other one's 2. But you gotta look at food nowadays, because half the food is proudly saying that it's literally made of air. There's only 2 calories in this whole box of air food. Whereas you gotta go the entire opposite direction. And you need with added calories, boost extra, protein high. But also, again, you have to actually read the fucking nutrition panel on the back of things. Because even the stuff that they write straight up on the friggin' front, they'll say 17 grams protein per thing, and then when you look on the back, it'll say 15.6 gram protein per thing. I was like, you're literally lying when you don't have to. If it's 15, put 15. I'm still gonna eat it because it's 15. Now I'm just annoyed because they're lying to me for when there's no reason to lie. So now I'm just suspicious of the whole damn lot. I mean, we already know that it's not even food, because those wraps in those packets don't go moldy. They don't go off. That's the whole point of why they're useful. Well over 6 months past date. Well over 6 months past date. Alright, I need to not be sitting this way. Look at the effect, see? My brain's gone. Why? Because my neck and my spine and everything, and my diaphragm is all compressed. My lungs are completely like shut forwards, but my neck is cricked backwards, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, people have so many random stuff. I'm not at all trying to say, like, oh my god, I've got problems. Or, you know, homeless people have problems. Here's the thing. Everybody has problems. And everybody, you know, has a lot of privilege and a lot of luxuries and a lot of... Okay, here's my asshole way that I was saying it for a while. I'm like, everybody... What was I saying? Nobody deserves anything. That's right. Nobody deserves anything, and everybody deserves everything. Oh, you don't deserve to be treated that way. Why? Why? Says who? Says what? Laws? Gods? Bibles? Okay, I'm not disputing any of that. But also, you know, at the end of the day, what does even the concept of deserve mean? What are the concepts of any of this shit mean? And so that's why it's like, you know, oh, you don't deserve to be treated that way. Well, I feel that you don't deserve to be outright harvested for your entire life energy, being completely whipped into a frenzy, sold a fucking psyop, that the only way to actually exist as a human is inside a completely overbuilt, over-designed and poorly built house structure, which is being forced on you at an absolutely made up fucking number. You're being forced to go into a multi-decade business contract with a predatory corporation who is outright protected by laws that are not extended to you. I mean, and also, you know, if somebody decides they want to put a fucking road there, then haha, joke's on you, we're taking it, you know? Or if they decide, you know what, we're just going to shut the country down for 2 years. No, you cannot work. No, you're not allowed to have your business. I don't give a shit if you just sunk all your money into a small business and you have been working your ass off and it was actually going somewhere. You know? I don't think that that's fair. That people get to just have their entire lives ripped out from under them with seemingly zero pathway. But that's fine, you know. Superfluous to current citizenry requirements is how I term myself. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't, you know, it's only a new thing that I'm realising. Because we all got sold the psyop. Especially all of us, like, 80s people. It just, yeah. I don't know. We all got sold the psyop that, like, if you actually try to, you know, do something and participate and be in the community, then, like, that's a good thing. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what happened. This other stuff happened. This happened. Around us. While we were all doing this was happening. I'm having a bit like, okay, this is the first time ever I've been without Ninja Cat. And what I'm saying is that my cats are my service animals. They're not just pets. I don't have ornamental pets. Okay, at one point 20 years ago, my cat did have a pet yabby for a while. I mean, my cats have had their own pets occasionally. That's a shit idea. Just if you're wondering, it's a shit idea because then you obviously have to do all the work because it's a cat, and just because you said that the cat now has a pet fish doesn't make it real. You still have to feed the fucking fish. But the cat would sit and, and spend time. Oh, man. Anyways. Yeah, my service animals are cats and have been cats for over 20 years. They provide actual functional, real task shit. Do you know what I mean? And they are useful and can do stuff that dogs can't do in terms to help, like autistic. I'm gonna include. Well, I'm just gonna say neurodivergent, but I'm just saying for me, like I'm more heavy on the tism, lighter on the addict. But yeah, having a cat to be able to ground me, lead me. I'm just saying there's lots of actual fucking service animal tasks. That I currently don't have with me. So that's why probably a part of why you just got to spend an entire hour with me cooking breakfast. But it's like, look how close we got. We've got it close. We've got it here. Alright. I'm feeling mildly confident I may be able to finish this task on my own. I'm gonna drink the coffee, eat the eggs, have the vitamins. Because can't have the vitamins until you've had some form of food, apparently. I mean, or even just like a coffee. But mainly that is so that the vitamin tablet doesn't just like get stuck and trapped in a little tiny corner of your tummy. But also something about, how like vitamins need the other stuff for better absorption. I'm just saying that the butter in the eggs. This is a smart brain design, and now this broken brain just has to follow the fucking design. That's why the butter in the eggs, and the butter and the eggs goes with the vitamins in the morning. And also, I mean, like if I get that far down the routine with the bone broth, because the bone broth, I just remember that having that one in the morning with that one, and the vitamins. They all go together somehow. That was something about vitamin C or some shit, and that's got the vitamin C. Anyways, this is the people that are annoying me. I'm gonna go outside and fix my thing. The wind is making me look scrappy. But also, it's a very important reason, A, why I'm parked this way, and B, why that exists. Because Australia, as we all know, has a severe issue with being very fucking nosy. And I'm answering people with things like, I'm fairly certain that's none your business. Australians, I think the word I would have to use is as a culture. It's only because I've had opportunity. I'm like, why did we invent the internet if it was not to, learn about different cultures and stuff? Yeah, so I think the only way that I can think to describe it is 98% of Australian people have the emotional intelligence of an overtired toddler who hasn't shit in a week and literally just got their fucking screen time taken away from them. I will ask a simple, innocent question of a person and they will explode in hostile rage, and you're like, back the fuck out of that situation. So I'm just saying, and that's not a drug user or anything. The parks people, I had booked and paid for the campsite, but yeah, my vehicle, I was not parked way down in the thing. I was parked up the back. What I'm saying is, I experienced a couple of days ago, 2 grown-ass men, both of them physically 3 times my size, and both of them sat locked in their vehicle with their windows up and open this far, and just sat there and stared at me in my vehicle. And I just, I'm like, well, this is the Rangers have come past. That's what they do. They come past, they check the bookings, they go, oh, yep, cool, you're that booking. So I just sat there and looked at them, and they sat there and looked at me. And quite literally, purely, it was because so now I have to think to myself, what kind of bullshit are they getting put through? When purely because a car what I'm saying is, the car was dusty, therefore they were forced to make a far-reaching judgment call based on the simple fact that my car was not one of these fancy cars. And they were literally trying to talk through a fucking window like this. And I was like, wow, whoever is inside that vehicle is so fucking terrified of me. I mean, fair enough, I suppose the front was covered, so they could not technically see if there could have been other people in the vehicle. They probably didn't know it was just me alone. But that's what I'm saying, though. The only way to make 2 grown men, both of them over 100 kilos and built like brick shithouses, the only way to make them feel safe enough to uncrack their window to have a conversation was to fully present my entire self for the attacking. Seriously, they'll try to talk, and I'm like, I can't talk to you through a fucking, what are you even talking about, man? And then I said the word booking, they went, oh, you got a bookie? Like, oh, man. Yeah, and I did, and also those poor people, those NPCs, they're stuck in their narrative, He did try to apologise, he did as effective an apology as he could, But what I'm saying, because he was like, oh, it was, we had to be sure we weren't, we had to be cautious, you understand, we had to just, be cautious because there's 2 fucking junkies have taken out residents down the front that they're trying to get rid of and all this, that, and the other. But yeah, he essentially was attempting to apologise for basically going, I just treated you like a fucking hostile drug addict, and now that we've actually fucking bothered to take the time to have the conversation, you're actually a normal, sober citizen displaced by extreme bushfire risk and extreme heat wave in a fucking society that clearly has 0 protocol in place for any of these things. So clearly we learned nothing from Black Saturday. We have no heat shelters, we have no safe parking spaces, we have no safe parking locations. There is 0 protocol in place for extreme level bushfire events. Parks Victoria on extreme risk days, their protocol that I'm learning, their protocol is that campgrounds, all public campgrounds are closed to the public on extreme fire risk days. Because that's exactly what fucking already has happened this summer. If something starts out there, you could only be 5 kilometers. You can only be 3 miles out of town. And if something starts, whoosh, I've given myself the icky soul chills. You're not getting out of there, man. You could be 3 miles from the fucking town and you're not getting out of there. That's how quick that shit happens. And with the wind, that was pretty much why the rating was so huge for this 24 hours. Because of the wind. Because even though the temperature wasn't too bad, the fact that it was warm and wind. Now today, the fact that the temperatures dropped way down, this is like springtime level today. The temperatures dropped down, but the wind is still there. Now here's the thing. Eucalyptus gum tree forests. They don't like wind on a fucking good day. So the fact that it's windy at all ought not to be parked under giant big fucking gum trees. The fact that there has been a month of high temperature, low to high temperature, the fact that there's been so much high temperature and dryness means that all those trees are already fragile from the last month. So even if it's cold today, even if it's windy, there will be branches and limbs and shit dropping in the forest that have been slowly getting ready to get jettisoned for a month. And then even the more fun bit is moving forward in the weather. The next phase is there are branches that, because eucalyptus trees are really smart, they do all of this stuff deliberately. Then there will be branches when it is the absolute still. There's not a breath of wind. That must be like the phase 3 or 4. They're the proper jettisons. They're the ones where this weather's finished now. There's no more hot. There's no more wind. You know, maybe, well, next week is meant to get hot again. But what I'm saying is you think it's finished. You at least think it's finished for now. And then you're just sitting there in the peaceful, super still, beautiful spring weather. Oh, it's very mild, it's lovely. And then you hear the biggest almighty crack of your life, and you hear about 10 tons worth of eucalyptus tree just drop. Because it's just been waiting and sitting there and slowly, you know? And it was like, it's like it would not break in the wind. The wind wasn't going to break it. What it was waiting for was that stillness, so that it could finally just release that giant fucking thing. So, like, I don't know. This dimension is not conducive with cats or dogs. Look. Can't bring a cat or dog in here. Also, Ninja Cat already has like high level liminal backrooms PTSD, same as me. So, anyways, I'm just saying, I would never bring Ninja Cat into an environment like this. Absolutely never. That's why she's at the cat hotel in the air-conditioned room. Probably getting overwhelmed by the fluorescent lights and echoey noises, same as I am here. But yeah, like, I don't know, if I could be sane and be solo, man, I'd go on a fucking grand tour of all the best views. Do travel up. Here I am with the city view. You know what we could do as well as part of the tour? You would find out, like, somewhere along here, one of them is a motel. You'd find out where, you know, like, if that was a hotel, you'd find out the room view from the hotel and get from their website all the way that they advertise beautiful sweeping views over the whole city. And then you just have the exact same fucking view. I got lots of weird art ideas. But at the moment, my art is that just make coffee and eat eggs. And also, I love the things that my adult brain grabs from the props department. I might need the wrench. Why? I'm not changing propane bottles. Oh, you never know. I might need it. I better pack it. So I've got my wrench. Shifter. I've got a couple other weird... Look, I bought this because I was, slightly manic. I bought this a month ago. Because look, here you go. I was going to build a new kitchen. There you go. Got a new kitchen. It's got a nice little lip on it. And then I bought it and I put it here a month ago. And I went, oh, that sits quite nicely behind there. And up until this moment, there it has stayed. So I would like to... So yeah, I gotta figure out the choose your own adventure character arc. But also, I'm deeply concerned that I might have to split my hand for a bit. Wow, now I'm swimming through blackjack metaphors. Oh my god. Well, the number one thing is do not be separated from Ninja Cat. If I have no primary purpose, goal to achieve and maintain, what might happen? I don't want to find out. Which is why I work so hard to fucking make sure that the design stays solid. But like physics, you know what I mean? And also, like, I just frame a lot of this thinking about it as in just picture this scenario on Mars. Yeah, what's the actual mission? Okay. Keep the payload safe. Okay. Well, here's your deployment vehicle. Here's your resources, What external stuff is there? Well, okay, there's no resupply mission coming from Earth. But there are local resources. Maybe we smash some rocks up or something. And what are the parameters? Well, the outright parameters are the temperature of the planet and the temperature of the bunker. The math says no. If this was a Mars mission, it would not be deployed because the physics says no. So, perhaps I do need to... That's my really long way of saying I'm really worried that I might have to try and just spend all my money on putting Kaylee in the cat boarding place for 3-4 weeks. Well, I've got no money until 1 week from now. So I'm just saying, I might have, I think I have to try and just put her in the cattery place until the middle of March. And the temperature's going to drop. Because even, I'm just saying, it's going too much too quickly. It was 37 degrees for a couple of days. And then it dropped down to, it's only in the 20s now. But 2 days, it's going to be back up in the 30s again. And also I'm just saying they seem to be going for, the hot days are going for... When you live inside a brick building, when you live inside a solid structure, a temperature fluctuation of 3 degrees is not that bad. If it goes from 30 degrees to 33 degrees, and you're literally even just sitting under a fucking carport, that's survivable. But when there is no access to, literally, any type of secondary cover for the vehicle, the heat shield tiles on my vehicle are not enough to effectively block out the direct full force of the sun. Do you know why that is? It's because there are 0 heat shield tiles on my vehicle. Do you know why? Because I'm on planet Earth and I'm not going to fucking Mars. We already have enough structures here on this planet I'm just saying, figure out. If I can't figure out how to, survive and thrive in this fucking sandbox toy dimension of nonsense, also known as Australia, then, shit. If you can't make it as a goblin in Australia, then damn, you can't make it as a goblin anywhere, I don't think. Because most of the country's source code hasn't been written yet. I think that's pretty much how I've figured it out. It's not that I'm finding glitches. It's not that I'm, as in the physical dimension. I'm not finding glitches. I'm not finding... No, I think all I've been doing my whole life is just accidentally finding arrow plot holes. Australian society, not only has it not rendered, entire sections of the game cells, it hasn't even got, code to render. What is the legal protocol in place for when campgrounds are closed down and there is a known and growing situation of fucking homeless people being forced out to live out in the forest at the campgrounds? What is the protocol? Because Parks Victoria must legally close and lock the gates of those campgrounds. Now, Parks probably... they're not going to be manhandling people. Parks will say, by law, this space is not legally allowed to be occupied by people. Get your ass on the other side of that gate. And so, if these two, unfortunate druggos, if they just say no, then what? Then Parks have got to ring the police. The police have to come. They have to say, this is a legal thing. Today for the period of 24 hours, you cannot locate in this place because it's a fucking campground and it's a high fire danger. Then the police would escort the two fucking drug people over to the other side of the gate. Parks could lock the gate, and now then they all leave. Everyone's done their fucking job. And then those two drug users... and they would say, okay, what are we supposed to do? And the Parks people would tell them exactly what they told me. What you do is you ring this mob and you ask, for this, if any of these people are there. And I just laughed. Not at him, I just laughed. And I said, alright, I'll give it a go. And so I did. I rang and I gave that intro as well. I just said, Parks Victoria directed me to call you on account of the fact that the campground is closed due to the extreme fire rating. Do you have any protocol in place? Are there any safe parking locations for me to park my vehicle at? I've been directed to contact you. Quite literally, the homeless services people for this whole city and region, I rang them yesterday, and quite literally the child on the phone, and this is not a judgment on that child, this is a judgment on Australian society, telling children, here you go, here's 3 pieces of paper and 0 fucking skills and 0 scope, and then telling them that you're going to go now with your $12 budget and save the entirety of every homeless person. I was speaking to a child on the phone, so I gave that child the kindness and the mercy of keeping it official, and I just clarified official procedure. As she said, because she was hearing the words of, extreme bushfire risk and stuff. And she said, yeah, if Parks, Victoria, and if there's extreme bushfire risk, then our advice to you would be to get yourself to the bushfire place of last resort locations. Now, they're a thing that exists in Australia. That is not the purpose of that sign and where that signs are in towns. What she suggested that I do yesterday, A, is not a thing that exists at fucking all. B, she technically was trying to send me to a place, a physical location, in order to seek safety, A, in a time when it was not acting in the capacity of that. B, it would have been highly illegal for me to just park my vehicle there overnight. And C, the entire fucking point of those physical locations are that they are the most exposed land possible. Because what a bushfire place of last resort is, and why I get such deep soul chills anytime I see the sign to them, because they've got them in all the towns now. And also that's what terrifies me the most on these, these recent bushfires this month that we've had. They're all very close to towns. In Australia, there are designated places everywhere now, and there are signs posted, like street signs, and you can look them up on the internet. And they are called the bushfire. This is a sad note to end on, but it's alright. We're gonna let's get low dopamine together. Let's acknowledge that reality is fucking terrifying, and physics doesn't give a shit about anything that happens on this tiny little planet. And then we can finish the video. We're going to drink our coffees together, and then you'll be just back in time again for watching me be a goblin and fucking plug heaps of shit into shit, and also possibly just go and start mining electricity, from the public grid. Just, I don't know, why not? Bushfire place of last resort is a location where, in the event of a catastrophic, active, live, happening bushfire, when all escape routes are fucking gone, when the time to evacuate is long past, when all the people that already, like all the farmers who know their shit, when all those farmers are out there and they've had their own water trucks running and they've been doing all the things with their farm and they've been successfully holding their farm and their homesteads, and, like all the women and children have already been evacuated. When absolutely everything goes to absolute shit. In 2020, they told people, get your ass to the fucking edge of the ocean. And they went to the ocean, and when they got to the ocean, there were people standing there and they said, why have you come to the ocean? Here is not where you come. This is not safe. And they said, this is where they told us to come. And so the people had to fucking swim out into the ocean, and the people with the boats had to come and get the people and take them out in the ocean. Because the fire was coming and it wasn't going to stop. The bushfire place of last resort signage and locations in Australian towns are for one thing and one thing only. When the ultimate hell comes for us, that is where the people will be standing in a circle and everything we have will be surrounded around us, and that is the final stand of physics itself. That is not a place that you tell people to go and park their cars because it's a bit windy. I'll be attending a bushfire place of last resort one time in my fucking life, I feel. Because do not misunderstand what those places are. There are no resources there. There are no nothing. They have peaked. That is the final stand. If you're going to the bushfire place of last resort, make sure that you have got correct with your God on the way there. That is what that place is for. And for the official protocol for an entire fucking city region to be literally telling every fucking meth head, every fent zombie, every God knows what, and every sober, clean citizen attempting to find actual information and data, and you're telling all of them, literally, okay, what we suggest you do is you physically get yourself to that giant public oval in the middle of town, where they've probably got a fucking football match on. Do you know what I mean? Because it's the place of last resort. Is everything on fire right now? No. So what that is a football oval. It is not a place where you go and be a terrified, displaced person. So, you know, Australia, you know, please feel free to either give me the address of a safe parking location for my vehicle, a homeless shelter bed, some kind of heat shelter, other than a fucking mall or a library that shuts at 2:30 p.m. and 5 p.m. and puts you out into the hottest part of the fucking day. Man, seriously, you'd be far safer staying under a bush and staying acclimatized, because if you try and walk out into, you know, 105 degree heat after being in an... But this is the whole point. I'm not complaining or whatever about them. Yeah, what I'm saying is that if you do not know, you will do what they fucking suggest. If you do not know, yeah, if we don't know that we're getting dog walked into a giant cage, then we're going to be inside it before we know. At least this one here, look, I've dog walked myself into a giant cage. And I'm being deadly fucking serious, quite seriously. Yeah, the only difference, really, on a fundamental level, is that this building, I have the right and the capacity to walk down, and I can walk out a door, and I can walk away. And that seems to be something that you actually have to fucking protect that right. Otherwise, they're gonna dog walk us out of our own selves. And it's already gonna be so far done and dusted before anybody even knows. And the evidence is all around us, you know. It's already happening. So I'm just looking at these two dudes out here. Well, they just cool dudes. They seriously look like they're wearing body armor. Body armor is an interesting thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, look, they got something on the back. They are wearing body armor. Ha. Anyways, I'm at a hospital. I'm in the hospital